Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sheer Bliss Wellness Break Live. Today, we are going to be speaking with Niki Seberini. She is a breathwork specialist. The amazing Niki Seberini. Niki is a well-being practitioner specializing in the powerful and transformative modalities of breathwork and self-inquiry. She studied with Dr. Ella Manga, Breathwork Africa, and is a certified advanced breathwork practitioner, helping individuals and groups to use conscious breath as medicine to manage burnout, reduce stress and anxiety, and engage as a more energized and resolved self. Niki studied with Byron Katie and has been facilitating the work since 2015, guiding clients to free their minds of negative and stressful thoughts and beliefs. Once their minds are clear of a limiting lens, a world of possibility begins to open up. I mean, it's fascinating, but that's not all, because Niki also hosts the DL Link show on 101.9 Chai FM, which is a prominent show about health, wellness, and personal growth. Sheer Bliss also loves the DL Link. We've done amazing work with them, just an incredible organization. So Niki, I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I think what's really amazing me is just how long you've been doing this breath work. It's just amazing. So talk to me more about, the benefits of breath work and just, yes, enlighten us.
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to talk about something that I'm really, really passionate about. So I call myself a conscious breather. And some people may wonder, well, a conscious breather, does that mean I'm an unconscious breather? And what does that ultimately mean? And so, yeah, most of us are breathing unconsciously simply because our breath is part of our autonomic nervous system and we don't even have to think about it. Thank God. We are being breathed. So around about 22,000 times a day, we breathe and we don't have to do anything. Now, when you become a conscious breather, you become aware that you are breathing. And when you have this awareness of breath, it brings awareness of mind, brings awareness of thought, it brings awareness of presence. And then once you have the awareness and you learn techniques, you can start to wield your breath. And what does that mean? Very simply put, Nadine, when you change the way you breathe, you change the way you feel. If we turn it around, if you want to change the way you feel, you're feeling really overwhelmed, change the way you breathe. If you want to change this sense of lethargy and no energy, change the way you breathe. If you want to show up more focused, change the way you breathe. So that's really why I'm so passionate about it. And it's so amazing because breath work it's this insourcing, right? We live in a society where we go outside of ourselves for everything, for every answer. We treat every ailment that we have, whether it is mind, body, soul, we go outside of ourselves, but we have everything we need. The breath work in itself is the missing pillar in our health. It's like this toolkit that can help us achieve and do so much. And yet people continue with I am breathing. So that's the difference between being an unconscious breather and a conscious breather. And actually, I don't know if you've ever heard of BKS Iyengar. He was this yogi master. And he said, and I love this quote, he said, the mind is the king of the senses. The breath is the king of the mind. And so a lot of us think, and it's very, very powerful when you break it down, because we think that if we change our mind, everything will change. But what we don't realize is that the breath can change the mind. And so just, if you want me to just break it down very, very, very quickly, we think, and it's very much old school, that the brain is sending most of the messages to the body, right? The brain is talking to all parts of the body. But what they've found with research, and it's so funny because this quote from BKS Iyengar is from a long time ago, but science today, and looking at the vagus nerve and polyvagal theory, is telling us more. So when you feeling stressed, Nadine, I mean, what happens to you when you're sitting in front of your computer? You've got a million emails coming in and WhatsApp and pinging and whatever. Hey, Sometimes you hold your breath. You hold your breath. I mean, I really encourage people who are listening right now, without changing anything, just be aware of how you're breathing. And a lot of times if we're stressed, we overbreathe. We're over breathing. Now, when you over breathe, the vagus nerve sends a message to the brain from your diaphragm, from your lungs, from your heart, and it says to the brain, when you're breathing like that, everything's not okay.
Something's wrong.
And your
And you're
brain
hyperventilating, essentially.
that's it. You're
Yeah.
hyperventilating. What does your brain do? Oh, we're in danger out there with fight, flight. What do I have to do? I have to send out stress hormones so we can get out of there. We can fight or we can freeze. And that's what the brain does. And so you can imagine all those stress hormones are then secreted back into the body. And then what happens to your breathing? It continues. And so you're in this loop of just feeling stress and you don't even know it. You're just replying to emails. But if you're a conscious breather and you start to breathe consciously and you're aware of it and you can extend your exhale and there are lots of exercises you can do, then what happens? The message goes to the brain as soon as you regulate your breathing. And what is the message? Everything's fine.
Calm
And the
down.
brain goes, fantastic. And then the brain starts to secrete all the feel-good, relaxing hormones. And all that changed was the breath. And we get to control it when we're conscious breathers. So it's pretty powerful. Love
Incredible.
it. Love it. Love it.
Incredible. And I think that, like what's really standing out for me in this conversation is that your breath is with you all the time. So it's something that if you have the right tools and you're going into that big meeting where you're feeling nervous about it, or you have to confront your boss about something, or anything that's going on, whether it's the workplace or personal or exercise or anything, suddenly you can really change huge parts of your life just by paying attention to the way that you're breathing and changing that. So I feel like I've just opened a complete wormhole here. Like, this is amazing. So talk us through like a couple of, just like a few practices that we could implement into daily life. So like, give me something that we could like do. I mean, for me, it's like, I think about when I can't sleep and I bring my attention to my breath, but let's think about something that's like practical that we can use in the day that we can try out.
Sure. I'm going to share two exercises with you. One exercise can change your physiology in the moment, and the other exercise is almost like taking a supplement over time. You're going to have incredible psychological, physiological benefits. Before I get there, let's just talk about optimal breathing, because over time we develop bad habits. I just said to you, you're sitting in front of your computer, you're breathing in a certain way, you don't realize high in your chest, from your neck, you have pain in your neck, you're breathing, it's a shallow breath. What is optimum breathing? How do we really get the oxygen to all the cells and make sure it gets to our brain? We can think, our gut works properly, our immune system works properly. We have to breathe properly. First thing, breathe through the nose. So people who are watching now, without changing anything, is your mouth open? Is your mouth closed? And notice during the day how often your mouth opens. Probably when you're exercising.
Mouth breathers.
You're sleeping. That's it. And how is it affecting your sleep? We don't have time for me to go into the difference between nose and mouth breathing. Huge difference, but breathe through the nose. Doesn't mean you don't ever breathe through your mouth. Sure, you're speaking, you're breathing through your mouth. We sigh. Sighing can be beautiful. We yawn. Sometimes when we're doing a lot of exercise, we breathe through the mouth. The rest of the time, and certain exercises, breathing exercises through the mouth. The rest of the time, through the nose. Right? We also don't want to use our auxiliary muscles. We don't want to use our neck. We don't want to use our shoulders. We don't want to use our upper chest. The muscles that we use when we breathe, the diaphragm, which is this long, very powerful muscle, most important muscle when we breathe, and that moves up and down when we breathe. It's found just under the lungs. And we've got these muscles in between our ribs, and these intercostal muscles pull the ribs upwards and outwards. So we want to be breathing from the diaphragm. So we breathe nose, low, as in from the diaphragm, slow. The slower we breathe, the better it is. So that's just to give everyone an idea of what is optimal breathing. Through the nose, low, you're breathing from the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles, and slow breathing, as fewer breaths as possible. It's not always possible, but the first exercise I'm going to introduce you to, which is called coherent breathing, it's called balanced breathing, it's called resonance breathing. It's an ancient technique, but if you look at the science today, you will be blown away. Cardiovascular health, brilliant. For coherence in the brain, brilliant. For regulating your nervous system, outstanding. I could go on. And understand that when you start to regulate your nervous system, what happens to your immune system? starts working.
Boost it up
Your
completely.
gut, that's it. So without realizing it, Nadine, as you said, everything opens up.
Yeah.
So this balanced breathing, see this as a supplement. And I like to tell my clients, it's like brushing your teeth. Would you go through a day without brushing your teeth? People go, of course not. Well, this is the same as brushing your teeth. The coherent breath, just remember 365. Do it 3 times a day for 5 minutes, and the 6 is 6 breaths per minute. We overbreathe.
Okay.
And that's the problem. So if we can just inhale and exhale 6 times per minute, that's fantastic. So you're going to do this 3 times a day, 6 breaths per minute for 5 minutes. And all you're doing is equaling the inhale with the exhale.
Right.
So it's through the nose, you're relaxing your shoulders. Imagine the string is pulling you up from the top of your head, all relaxing, and you inhale gently. We're going to do it to the count of 4 because I don't want to overwhelm anyone, but you can certainly build it to 5, then 6. Amazing. So let's do it together.
Okay.
Relaxing.
I'm ready.
Okay. Start off with a beautiful exhale, releasing all the air. And let's begin. That's it. Begin in through the nose. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, and gently release it. 2, 3. Through the nose, 4. And inhale through the nose, 2, 3, 4. And gently exhale. 2, 3, 4. And in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, and in. It should be effortless. A gentle inhale, 4, and gently exhale. Effortless. 2, 3, 4, and inhaling and feeling how your belly expands as you inhale. 4, and now exhale and feel your belly flatten. 2, 3, 4, and in, softening your shoulders. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Keep going. A beautiful soft inhale. 2, 3, 4. Gently let it go. 2, 3, 4. Let's do one more. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Now we did probably 1 minute.
Right.
But just drop in, and feel into the sensations of your body.
What's
notice it.
interesting?
Yes, how are you feeling?
Well, it feels like it takes a few breaths to really fill up your lungs. So it's almost like it takes a couple of breaths of just really letting it come in and go out before you feel like it's almost like to get to that bottom chamber of the lungs.
Exactly.
Takes practice in a way. So it feels like you're not actually taking a full breath until you mindfully really do that.
And understand as well, I'm so glad you said it, because you're working muscles that you haven't worked. You know, when we really pulling those ribs up and out, and we're trying to access the lower part of the lungs, that's different. We're not used to it. We're so used to this breathing high up in the chest, this fast breathing, which is related to stress. So I love that you felt that. And remember that this exercise, wonderful. You can do it in the car. You can do it when you're sitting in front of your PC. You can do it when you're in the shower. You can do it when you do it all the time. 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to feel the difference. Lowering the blood pressure, as I said, cardiovascular health, it's all there. So that's like the supplement. It's the balanced breathing or the coherent breathing. It's a gift. Do it. The second exercise that I want to share with you is what you can use and your followers can use in the moment. So it's kind of like, I don't like to use this example, but it's easy to understand. You've got a headache, or you've got a toothache, or you've got a backache, and you're going to grab a panada. In other words, you want, within the next 10 or 15 minutes, you want to feel better. Now, this takes place much quicker than 10 or 15 minutes. So let's say you're having a day, Nadine, you are completely overwhelmed. Or maybe, I'm not sure if you suffer from anxiety in any way or form, maybe your followers do. And this exercise, which is called a grounding breath, Some people know it as the physiological sigh, is the most effective way of resetting your system in the moment. And
Right.
why? When you're panicked, when you're overwhelmed, it's your sympathetic nervous system. And as soon as you shift that, it's the parasympathetic nervous system. So all you're doing is you inhaling through the nose, a beautiful deep inhale, and then you sip a little bit more through the nose. Then you pause to the count of 3 without holding or tensing. It's relaxing. You pause at the top to the count of 3, and then imagine you're breathing through a straw. It's a slow exhale through the mouth. And as soon as you exhale slowly through the mouth, you activate your vagus nerve, which switches on the parasympathetic nervous system. You do this
Incredible.
3 or 4 times, anxiety gone. Let's do it together.
Okay.
So relaxing the shoulders, exiting, releasing, exhaling the air, and let's go. Inhale through the nose. Another one. Pause for 3. 1, 2, 3. Blow out as if you're blowing through a straw. Gentle exhale. Let all of the air go out. So remember, we're relaxing. It's a deep inhale through the nose. And then another one through the nose. It's like a sip. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through the mouth. Feel the belly button pushing against the spine. Gentle. Let's do one more.
It's incredibly calming.
Very calming. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. How do you feel?
Amazing. I'm actually so blown away. I mean, this is really my personal first introduction to breath work in this sense. I mean, as a qualified doula, I've worked with the breath a lot, but this has been completely mind-blowing. And I think we're going to have to do a follow-up session because we need to talk about the kind of breaths where you cover one nostril and work on the other side and do things like that. So much.
Yeah.
Like this is like really, I feel like this is just the beginning. But I mean, you do this with people one-on-one, you do this in groups, Niki. So what is the best way for people to reach out to you and how can our followers get hold of you?
Thanks, Nadine. You know, go to my Facebook, I would say Facebook, go to my website, nikiseberini.com.
Okay.
All the information's there. And if people want to book an appointment with me, they just need to go to offerings and one-on-one and they can book that appointment. I do also want to say that there is another part of, we were looking at the physiology and changing the physical, mental. There's something called conscious connected breathing, which can blow the mind, literally have expanded states of consciousness. And maybe we can talk about that next time when you really get to the layers of stress and trauma. And I just want your followers to know that breath is like a medicine and it's an in-source. And as you said, it's available to you. It's life. And when you start to become a conscious breather, you start to wield how you feel and you change your overall mental, physical, emotional health. And it's there. It doesn't have to cost you anything.
Amazing. Niki, thank you so much for being here today. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. I feel like the rest of my day is going to be a whole lot better just for this time with you. Thank you so much.
I hope so. And thank you for inviting me.
And thank you to everyone who's joined us today.
Thanks, Nadine. Bye-bye.
Chat soon. Bye-bye.